this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're talking about our little asteroid of spirituality called Vesta. And Vesta has a lot of energy and a long, long history as well. So let's learn about Vesta. Okay, Vesta is basically been around forever, and this little asteroid has like a great connection. And I will tell you, kind of more than anything else, it's kind of a connection to our spirituality, but also to our like inner goddess. No matter who you are, you've got that inner goddess, that feminine. I'm taking control. I'm in control of what's going on around me. And I think that's kind of one of the things that draws a lot of people to learn a lot more about Vesta. But Vesta also had like its own cult for a long period of time. Way back in ancient Rome, they had the Vestal Virgins, and they kept the fires going around Rome to keep Rome completely protected. I know, I was like, oh my gosh, it's kind of interesting. Now, Vesta, the asteroid, was discovered in 1807, and it's classified as a dwarf planet, but it's one of those, it's way, 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 way out there in the asteroid belt, kind of between Mars and Jupiter. And I will tell you that wherever Vesta is in your chart, it is really going to make a difference. It is going to make a difference for you, because it's one of those, it's all about kind of like what you're willing to sacrifice. What are you willing to put in? What are your desires? What is like your inner flame? Like, what is it that you really want to bring into the world? What is that energy? What is that energy that you really want to bring? Kind of your devotion to your spiritual path or your life path. This is really a sacred life, and wherever Vesta is in your natal chart, it's really going to show up really, really strong. Now, Vesta can be blocked at times, and this can kind of like make you feel like you haven't found your life purpose, or haven't found where you belong in the world, or kind of what should you be doing. And Vesta has a long history in a lot of different cultures and a lot of different energies as well. And Vesta has some really strong warrior goddess energy, and is really kind of connected heavily to being a virgin, which is where the name virgin comes from, is Vesta. But it's also kind of like having that energy of like, I'm okay to do it by myself. Not just like a virgin who's like waiting to get married and saving herself. What I'm saying is like that goddess virgin of like, I'm strong all by myself. I don't require anybody else to be with me. Kind of this sacred spirituality, this sacred sexuality as well, kind of coming through in a lot of where Vesta is in your chart. And also, Vesta really changes kind of like the mundane, the kind of like the normal everyday stuff into like the magical stuff. So this is really a great way, and finding heaven, earth, and kind of like what's going on, like your basic essentials, what is really going to help you in your life and what's not going to help you in your life. Utilizing like sacred practices, bringing things up. Grounding is also a very Vesta energy to do. And where, like I said, where Vesta is in your chart is going to kind of bring that sacred flame of energy up. Now, I'm going to go through a couple of like where, what sign she's in, and I will tell you that this is a really, really strong one. Vesta, if Vesta is in the sign of Aries, it's going to bring a lot of motivation, a lot of ambition energy. Noticing kind of like feeling like, I want to fulfill what I want. I'm going to be the most important person. I want to fulfill my life purpose, not everybody else's life purpose. I want my own. If Vesta is in Taurus, this is going to be leading to like pleasure and comfort and being guided by your inner light, kind of like where am I feeling led to go. And this can kind of bring in some different aspects of kind of like down to earth qualities, connectiveness, like being around the family, those sort of things. So Vesta has a really strong energy in this. Now, Vesta in the sign of Gemini is very intellectual, kind of that brain, that going all the time, devotion to kind of being treated, to knowledge, kind of treating yourself. Like, I'm going to sit down and read a book today. That's a very Vesta in Gemini energy. Continuing learning and writing and kind of like uncovering your spiritual path. This is a huge one for Vesta. I will say kind of the next one is Vesta in the sign of Cancer. This is feeling honored and feeling that you are in a divine act, kind of like I'm constantly divinely moving my energy forward, and this can be on a daily or monthly ritual kind of schedule. But I will tell you, this is bringing in a lot of inner and outer world energy, kind of like the whole universe is coming together to get you on your life path and going. Vesta in the sign of Leo is about creating space for yourself, kind of like giving yourself an opportunity to kind of move forward in self-expression, kind of like talking about things and being really dominated by motion, kind of like where are we going, what's coming up next. This is going to be that energy in Vesta in Leo. Next, Vesta in Virgo is true to the idea of the virginity, placing kind of like the curves of kind of like where do we want to go compared to like volunteering. Like, I want to serve everybody else, but I also want to be served as well. So kind of like that curving energy of what's coming up next, kind of also bringing in that higher source of energy for you. Where is that coming in from? Is that your creator energy and really feeling like you're volunteering for creator energy and not just whatever item you're doing? Let's talk about Vesta in the sign of Libra. This comes in with that fairness, justice, kind of swaying back and forth. This is a balance of Libra energy and what you crave to do in your life. When channeling through Vesta, it operates the realm of like beauty, design, aesthetics, but most importantly is that justice, fairness, kind of, balance. And whenever this is in play, this is going to bring in a lot of balancing back out into our world, kind of like balancing the energy. If you've done something wrong, you're going to pay the price. It's going to find that balance and that fairness and justice in there as well. So let's talk about Vesta in the sign of Scorpio. This is kind of like a fiery kind of nature of Vesta, of kind of bringing this water placement of being like, focused on what would you like to call into your life? What would you like to heal in your life? Where would you like to go in your life? And if there's any shadow work to be done, Vesta is going to help you unveil all of that in the sign of Scorpio and kind of like bringing in like options of like, how can we fix this? How can we work through this? Vesta in the sign of Sagittarius is bringing in more morality and religion and kind of how are we going to balance that out with kind of like our basic desires and our life force, like how are we going to balance that. This can also bring up a lot of travel, especially if you're going on humanitarian travel outlets, kind of like if you're going to go and help the country that you're going to go to, if you're going to be there for a little bit. This is kind of like, and all of that energy is kind of coming in of bringing this humanitarian work to the world, kind of bringing that, I don't want to say necessarily religion, but kind of like helping other people and kind of bringing of service. Let's talk about Vesta in the sign of Capricorn. This is kind of really kind of that placement of the spiritually divine through hard work and kind of really impressing kind of like what's coming in, what are the different aspects of the energy, finding your passion and your beauty. And this is really a great commitment to kind of like those Vestal virgins way back when, of kind of bringing in what hard work, where do I want to put my energy, where do I want to put my hard work in, and where is it going to bring out my finding my passion, finding the beauty within me, and bringing that all out. Next, let's talk about Vesta in the sign of Aquarius. And this is really craving ideas and shifting energy and perspectives, kind of like where is my energy, where is my flow, changing and being creative, igniting fires of desire of kind of like where do I want to go in my life, and honoring our divine spark within us. Like what is that in us that we want to really bring in quickly. Our last one is Vesta in the sign of Pisces. And this is really an interesting energy because this is all about like our spiritual urges and our spiritual pathways of kind of like urging to move forward in all of this energy, understanding our energetic boundaries, and kind of finding those places where we can kind of pull off and take an honored break, or are we ready to get back on the road? Are we ready to move forward again? All of this is amazing energy, and this is going to come in with a great insight. Any of these are going to really help us. So it's kind of one of those fun to look up when we have Vesta going into retrograde or moving into a new sign, checking it out and kind of what is that bringing up for you, because where Vesta brings that energy is really going to bring us a great insight. So let's do some angel cards and get us a little bit more information about Vesta and her spirituality and kind of helping us with our life paths, because I know a lot of people really connect with Vesta when they are really working on their life path, kind of like, where am I going to go in my life? What am I going to do? So the first one I get is balance. And this is kind of more like Vesta in the sign of kind of that Libra energy of kind of like bringing in the balance, but Vesta can also balance us in our life because she's kind of going between like, what do we want to create in our world and what do we not want to create in our world? It's one of those, it's kind of bringing in that balance of kind of like one side or the other. It doesn't have to be all one way or all the other. This is bringing it in that perfect balance. Spiritual growth. Vesta is all about spiritual growth. She is basically, it's in their title. She is spirituality. She has this amazing spiritual growth. She loves being around other people, and she loves being of service to others. So this is going to bring in a really strong energy for us of like, I want to serve other people. I want to serve in my own way. Listening. I think Vesta is really good about bringing in that listening of kind of like, where are the urges coming in from you? Like, where do you want to go? Do you want to find the balance? Do you want to find the passion? What is it in that Vesta is bringing up in you, and really listening to that inner voice for yourself of what's coming up next for you? Where are you going to go next? This one is all about dreams. Of course, Vesta can really affect our dreams. Most planets out there can. And this is going to bring us like dreaming about our life purpose, our path, our deep down desires of like, I want to do something different. I don't want to do the everything else. It's kind of like bringing in that magical energy and it kind of like the mundane that I don't want to really do that. That's the basics, into that magic. Like, oh yes, this is where I want to go in my world. Definitely. Miracles. Vesta is really connected with a lot of miracles, a lot of amazing energy. And I will tell you, kind of Vesta has a lot of miracles in just kind of connecting us to our spiritual side. I will tell you, spiritual energy is amazing for us, of kind of bringing in that amazing energy for us. What's coming up next? Where are we going next? And that kind of like bringing in the miracles. Like, let's do it. Let's bring in these miracles. Literally what I was talking about earlier is kind of like the Vestal Virgins in Rome, like keeping those fires lit all night. That was like a huge thing. It wasn't like a small little town. It was big. And moving that and literally having those partners in the other Vestal Virgins of this whole cult of like keeping their town in out of harm's way, being protected, and that brought in a lot of miracles for that town. Vestal Virgins, Vesta has a lot of freedom energy. She doesn't have to have a man. So it's not like I'm a virgin because I haven't been with anybody. It's like I'm choosing to keep that wealth of passion, that wealth of inner love for myself, and I'm going to put that where I choose to do it. I'm going to be free to pick and choose where I want to put this amazing energy, and not just any place is going to do for me. I have to find the perfect place, the perfect energy to connect Vesta with yourself. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.